You know that sound? The click of a key turning in the lock of an empty house. For a lot of people, that isn't the sound of peace. It's the sound of anxiety kicking in. It's the start of a long, quiet evening. We're often taught to fear this quiet, to see it as a failure or a sign that we're on the outside looking in. In the United States, about 28% of adults over 65 live on their own, and that number is growing. For women over 75, that figure jumps to an astonishing 43%. Society tends to frame this as a sad statistic, a problem that needs fixing. But what if that story is completely wrong? What if the silence isn't a void, but a canvas waiting for you to fill it? What if the secret to not just getting by, but truly thriving after 60 is hiding in those quiet moments you've been taught to fear? This isn't about just putting up with solitude. It's about a mental shift that can turn living alone from something you dread into your greatest source of power. It's the story of how you stop waiting for someone else to show up and finally become your own best friend. Section 1. The Great Reframe, From Empty House to Personal Kingdom. The first and most important step is all in your head. It's about fighting the narrative that alone automatically means lonely. Being alone is a physical state. There's simply no one else in your space. Loneliness is an emotional state, that painful feeling of wanting more connection than you have. They are not the same thing, and figuring that out is the key to everything. Let's be honest, we are social creatures. For decades, life is a blur of responsibilities: raising kids, building a career, being a partner. Our identities get tangled up in the roles we play for other people. So when those roles change and the house gets quiet, it's completely normal to feel a sense of loss. It's not a personal failure. It's a natural reaction to a major life change. The problem isn't the solitude itself, but that most of us were never taught how to do it. The reframe begins when you decide to see this chapter not as an ending, but a new beginning. This isn't an empty nest. It's your own personal kingdom, and you are the ruler. This freedom isn't a consolation prize. It's a luxury. In AARP surveys of solo agers, freedom and autonomy are consistently named the single best part of living alone. It's the freedom to do what you want, when you want, without having to check with anyone else. Now, the statistics on severe loneliness are no joke. It's linked to a higher risk of heart disease, stroke, dementia, and depression. The U.S. Surgeon General and the World Health Organization have even declared it a major public health crisis, with some studies suggesting its mortality impact is comparable to smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day. But here's the empowering part. Your perspective is a powerful shield. By choosing to see your solitude as a state of peace, you can actively protect your well-being. This isn't about pretending you don't get lonely. It's about recognizing that loneliness is a temporary feeling, not a permanent address. It's a signal, not a sentence. With this mindset, you can see an empty house as a sanctuary and silence as the sound of your own soul finally getting a chance to breathe. Section 2. Becoming your own best friend. The art of self-companionship. Once you've reframed your space, it's time to reframe your relationship with yourself. For years, your inner voice has likely been edited for others. You adjust, you compromise, you perform. Living alone gives you the incredible gift of dropping the act. It's a chance to get reacquainted with who you are when nobody's watching. This is where you get to be a little weird. Talk back to the game show host on TV. Try to sing opera to your dog. Wear that ridiculous hat you love just for the fun of it. There's no one there to give you a funny look. One woman even started baking dog biscuits shaped like Elvis. She didn't own a dog. Just because the quirky ritual was entirely her own and brought her joy. You're not losing your mind. You're gaining a friend who's been there the whole time. When there's no one else to lean on, you also discover a strength you never knew you had. You become the one who shows up for yourself day in and day out. You figure out how to fix that leaky faucet. You perfect your coffee just the way you like it. And you handle life's little challenges on your own terms. This builds a quiet, satisfying pride in your own abilities. This friendship with yourself is built on small, daily acts of kindness. It could be a morning walk, learning a new skill online, or just lighting a candle and putting on your favorite music, as loud as you want. Your space starts to reflect who you really are, not who you had to be for someone else. Go ahead and paint that wall a color someone else would have hated, but that you call home. Without the constant chatter of other people's needs, you have the quiet to truly hear yourself, maybe for the first time in a long time. As one person put it, "I'm not afraid of living alone. I'm afraid of living surrounded by people who never really saw me." In solitude, you finally get to be fully seen by the one person who matters most, you. Section 3. The underrated luxury of freedom. Escaping the drama. Let's talk about one of the absolute best perks of living alone: the end of drama. After years of walking on eggshells, dealing with unspoken tensions, or fighting those silent wars over the thermostat, your home is now a drama-free zone. It's a peace treaty you sign with yourself. Think of all the mental energy you get back when you're not debating what to eat for dinner. If you want pancakes, you have pancakes. There's no one to question your choices. This isn't just about food. It's about everything. You get to watch what you want on TV, even if it's the same old movie for the 100th time. You get the entire bed. These small, daily freedoms add up to a huge sense of contentment. This peace has real health benefits. Without the low-grade stress of managing someone else's moods, you might find you sleep better and your mind feels clearer. One man, who divorced at 61, said the first week living alone felt quiet, but the second week felt free. He now spends his afternoons fishing, joking that even the fish are less dramatic than his old life. This isn't about being antisocial, it's about being pro-peace. You learn to be more selective with your time and walk away from people who seem to thrive on chaos. You're also liberated from the emotional labor of being constantly needed. When that demand on your energy disappears, you realize you're no longer on call. You are the boss of your own schedule and your own happiness. If you want to take a nap at 10 a.m. or drive 2 hours for a great slice of pie you saw on TV, there's no one to stop you. It's the quiet confidence of knowing you're in control. You're no longer living a life by committee, and you can finally breathe in your own space at your own pace. Section 4. Building your fortress. Intentional socializing. Embracing solitude doesn't mean becoming a hermit. This is a critical point. While living alone can be incredibly liberating, it's not without risks. Studies show that solo agers can be more vulnerable to depression and anxiety, so being proactive about connection is key. The goal is to build a strong social fortress around your kingdom, not to keep people out, but to be intentional about who you let in. It's all about quality over quantity. First, get to know your own triggers for loneliness. Is it Sunday afternoons? A certain song? Once you know your patterns, you can plan for them. Instead of waiting for loneliness to hit, you can schedule something positive in those moments. This is where you build that social fortress. You're the bouncer at the velvet rope of your own life. You decide who gets in and when. Staying connected is vital for your health, helping maintain everything from cognitive skills to a healthy immune system. There are so many ways to do this. Join a book club, a hiking group, or a community garden. Volunteering is a powerful way to find purpose and connect with others. Technology can be a great tool for staying in touch with family and friends who are far away, but don't forget the power of face-to-face interaction. Even small connections like chatting with a neighbor or a barista can make a big difference. And don't underestimate the power of a pet. A dog or cat can offer incredible companionship and give you a great reason to get out and connect with others in your community. The most important part is that this social life is on your terms. You choose people who energize you. You learn to politely say no to things that feel like obligations. You're not trying to please everyone anymore. You are curating a support system that actually supports you without giving up the peace you've worked so hard to create. This journey is so personal, and everyone's story is different. The freedom, the challenges, the unexpected joys, it's all part of this incredible chapter. I would love to hear from you in the comments. What's been the most rewarding part of living alone for you? What's one little solo luxury you've come to love? Your story could be exactly what someone else needs to hear to start their own journey. Going from fearing an empty house to cherishing a personal kingdom is one of the most powerful shifts a person can make. It's a change that happens not by rearranging your life, but by rearranging your thoughts. It starts by radically reframing solitude, seeing it not as something that's missing, but as a luxury. The luxury of freedom, peace, and self-discovery. It's about building a real friendship with the person who's been with you all along, yourself. It's about discovering your own resilience, loving your quirks, and realizing your own company is pretty great. It's about trading drama for contentment and balancing that precious solitude with connections that matter. Living alone after 60 isn't a lesser path, it's an empowered one. It is a chance to finally shed the roles you've played for everyone else and step into who you truly are. The quiet is not an absence, it is a presence. It's the sound of your own life on your own terms, finally beginning. If this message resonated with you, make sure you hit like so more people our age see it. And subscribe to Aged and Confused if you're navigating this chapter too. This channel is for people over 55 who are figuring it out in real time. No pretending, no sugarcoating, just honest conversations about what life really feels like now. And tell me in the comments, what's one solo luxury you've secretly come to love?